What is up, guys? Rick Kackis here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today we are going to be showcasing a weapon you absolutely need to get your hands on before the end of the season. Not just get your hands on, but unlock the ability to farm and get a god roll, because this thing is going to be part of the meta for months and seasons to come, likely a whole year from now until it gets sunset. So, what the heck am I talking about? Well, let's get started. Now, yesterday I put out a video talking about how to get the absolute maximum damage out of your sword. The video was not focusing on a specific sword, but rather how any sword you can utilize the perfect combination of perks, mods, and builds to just get, again, that maximum amount of damage. In this video, we are going to be looking at a specific sword, arguably the best of the bunch and one of the brand new swords with the brand new frames added within Season of Arrivals, and that is the Falling Guillotine. Now this comes from reaching level 30 within the Season's Pass, and the version that you get, well, firstly it has that extremely unique brand new Vortex frame. Press, whatever button it's assigned to, launch a heavy spin attack. Heavy attacks are stronger with full energy. Attacks partially bypass elemental shields. So this is actually ripped right from a Destiny 1 exotic with the Dark Drinker sword. Taking a look at the other perks, it has Enduring Blade, so greatly increased sword ammo at the cost of damage. We then have Heavy Guard. Then we've got Energy Transfer. Guarding while receiving damage generates class ability energy. And lastly, we do have an absolute sword all-star here with Whirlwind Blade. Rapid sword strikes increase the damage for a short duration. Guarding ends the effect. So, this version that you get is pretty darn good. Vortex frame is so powerful, and we're going to go over that in a sec, that just acquiring the level 30 version and the fact that it comes with Whirlwind Blade definitely doesn't hurt is really going to make your builds, make your sword builds extremely powerful. But like I said, it doesn't end there, and I wouldn't quite be satisfied with getting a normal version of the Falling Guillotine. Once you unlock both of the Season's Pass weapons, and the other one is available at level 45, I believe, the Pulse Rifle, then you can go back to the Prismatic Recaster and start getting Umbral Engrams that come with the sword and the Pulse from the Season's Pass, and you can farm a good version. We'll talk about that in a sec, but first let's talk about why am I fawning all over this weapon? What makes it so powerful? Well, again, it's that special heavy attack, but just how powerful is it? Let's take a look at it compared to some other swords. So starting us off, we have a very traditional sword, the Night Terror, spawning with Relentless Strikes and Whirlwind Blade, which is phenomenal. If you did watch yesterday's video on swords, you would know that Whirlwind Blade results in a 30% damage bonus when it's at ×5. By the way, I would highly recommend you do watch that because we are going to be skipping over certain aspects that were already mentioned in that video. But when I use the heavy attack from this sword, as you can see on the simulated ogre, we get it to around half health, just a little bit above half health actually. And because swords are putting out so much damage, you'll often see them do a certain amount of damage, then after a little bit, another chunk of damage will appear. And again, that's just a visual glitch. Hopefully Bungie can fix this at some point. Alright, now let's move on to another sword, another brand new one, the Temptation's Hook. Also at 1041 power, all of them are. Wasn't easy, trust me, but this also has Relentless Strikes and Whirlwind Blade. So we're going to use its heavy attack against the ogre, and as you can see, we're at about a third of damage, maybe just beyond that. And that's certainly not bad considering I just shot this guy with the sword from quite a ways away, so the utility is there, but the damage definitely isn't. So far, the original sword is in the lead. Alright, so let's switch to the Falling Guillotine, go up to the same ogre, swing the heavy attack, and as you can see, after that little delay, yeah, it's way more than half. So, that heavy attack is substantially more powerful than the other sword frames we just tested. And in fact, you can get it even more powerful when you combine it with the brand new seasonal mod, Lucent Blade. This makes it so that if you're charged with light, which it's actually very easy to do if you get the Taking Charge mod where you just have to pick up an orb, then upon receiving sword damage, you're going to get 5 seconds of a 35% damage increase for your sword. Now the good news here is that when you have something like the Falling Guillotine, it does a lot of damage. Like, you'll see a lot of different damage numbers pop up in a very short time frame. The very first one is going to trigger Lucent Blade, trigger that Keened buff, and all of those other little damage numbers are going to be affected by that 35% bonus. So it's very effective when it's combined with the heavy attack of the Falling Guillotine. And I actually did a little comparison with all of these different swords again, but this time with that Lucent Blade perk active. So the Falling Guillotine is capable of just outright killing this ogre in one heavy attack, which is absolutely absurd. Then we have the Temptation's Hook again. Now this definitely does a bit more damage, but certainly not as much. We then go to the traditional sword, and as you can see, it's like barely more. It almost does kill in 2 heavy attacks, but really the downside to that weapon is that there's not as much damage numbers that are popping up, right? There's only about like 3 or 4, and so you don't get as much damage numbers affected by the Keened buff, right? Whereas with the Falling Guillotine, all those damage numbers after the first one, like, there's just so much of its damage that is affected by that buff, and I think that's a huge benefit, and I don't think it would be as good without that Lucent Blade perk. And those tests just show how much more powerful the Falling Guillotine is in terms of a heavy attack when compared to other swords, and in game you can see that effect. This thing mows through enemies. Now, the interesting part is that heavy attacks are a little tricky. Generally, when you are doing a damage phase, you are just chaining light attacks. Combined with Whirlwind Blade, you get a ton of damage, and also when combined with the Relentless Strikes perk, you get your damage back even if you're attacking a singleton target. So even if you're cheesing Riven, for example, you're getting your ammo back while you're just constantly chaining light attacks. Heavy attacks are a point of contention. Obviously, they all do a considerable amount of damage, and the Guillotine the most so, but they use up a much bigger chunk of ammo using, I think the Falling Guillotine uses like 4 or 5 different things of ammo, so that's 4 or 5 normal swings of a light attack. And of course, you have the energy factor to deal with. At full energy is when all of those tests were being done in the Menagerie, and that's when this weapon is at its most effective. If you don't have full energy, you're still going to do a spinning attack, but it's going to do a lot less damage. So you really want to be utilizing it when you're full energy, and that does matter. There is a pretty substantial cooldown. Now, it should be noted, Lucent Blade is so good that it has a secondary perk that is active as long as you're using an Arc Armor mod on that armor piece, that makes it so that your energy when you're using a sword recharges faster. So you're going to be able to heavy attack more often. So Lucent Blade is like required when you're using swords at this point. It's so powerful. But it does swing things into the Falling Guillotine's favor, and the best part is that you can just lead with a heavy attack and switch to light attacks very easily. Get that massive chunk of damage out on multiple enemies at the same time, or on a very powerful singleton target. You're going to see this thing take down nightmares, bosses, champions like they're nothing. So you get that massive chunk of damage with an opening heavy attack with a spin and full energy, and then you just switch to light attacks. Now, there's an interesting combination when you have this going on with Whirlwind's Blade, because when you do a spin, a heavy attack, it will activate Whirlwind's Blade, but it only counts as one attack. Like, you're going to see Whirlwind's Blade, that's it. And if you're at Whirlwind's Blade times 1, it's only going to go up to times 2, right? But you can just light attack, light attack, light attack some enemies leading up to a boss or a big target, get to Whirlwind's Blade times 5, and then yeet in there with the heavy attack for some pretty nutty damage. And I really do think that is going to be the strat going forward. Heavy attack to start, mix in a bunch of light attacks, heavy attack when it's available. The thing is, when you're cheesing a boss, you often complete the damage phase, you kill the boss while you still have sword ammo. So while constant heavy attacks aren't necessarily the best thing, this is dealing so much damage that it's probably going to be worth it in terms of ammo efficiency, that mixing in some heavy attacks with this weapon specifically is probably gonna become the meta for sword-based damage phases. But how can you make the absolute most of this weapon? I mentioned farming it earlier. What perks when you finally unlock the ability to farm this weapon via umbral engrams, focused umbral engrams, what perks should you be looking for? Well, this is the perk pool for the Falling Guillotine. Unfortunately, the base version comes with Enduring Blade, which is the worst blade in this category. You would much rather have Tempered Edge, which increases your impact instead of lowering it so you get more damage, or Honed Edge, which increases your impact even more so, but Jagged Edge is going to result in the biggest damage increase. It does, however, lower your ammo capacity. But again, if you're going for max damage, Jagged Edge is the way to go. The guard doesn't matter as much, but in the first perk slot, we have some interesting choices. If you want to use this purely for damage phases against bosses, Relentless Strikes is the way to go. It's going to generate ammo when you're doing that. But if you're using this in contact public events and you're killing lots of powerful enemies and adds, you want Tireless Blade. Sword ammo granted for every other powered sword kill. And every time you spin, that's a powered sword kill, and it's almost impossible not to kill multiple enemies with that thing. It's so powerful. So I am definitely going to be going for Tireless Blade. Then in the final perk slot, we have some really interesting choices again. So Whirlwind Blade is phenomenal. Getting it up to a 30% damage bonus, it is just insane. And again, for boss phases, this is what you want. But the problem of having to ramp it up and that spinning only counts as, one increase of it could mean that the real thing to go for here is Surrounded. The weapon gains bonus damage when 3 or more enemies are in close proximity. And remember, you can also use the Surrounded spec mod to further increase that. So having the combination of Tireless Blade and Surrounded, I think if you really want to make the most of this weapon's heavy ability, if you want to use it as just an ad clearing monster, that is the role to go for. Like I said though, if you're just interested in damage phases, Relentless Strikes, Whirlwind Blade, it's been the way to go and it's still the way to go. And so guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at @RickKackis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.